What's up, Edge Nation? Jake Baker here with the Bloomington Edge, covering all things football. We are in week 13 of the football season. Hopefully you guys are in good shape coming closer to playoffs. Let's get started with our standouts this past week. We got Julio Jones had a monster game, 253 yards, 2 scores, and getting over 50 points. Julio doing Julio things, just being a monster out there. We got Antonio Brown, Tony Toe Tap, 10 receptions, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, getting over 40 points. Then we got Alvin Kamara, 5 rushes, 87 yards, and a touchdown, and then 6 receptions, 101 yards, and a score. My offensive rookie of the year, and 36.8 points this week, just a monster. Keenan Allen, 11 receptions, 172 yards. I believe this is the first time this season he's gotten over 100 yards. So it's good to see him. That LA Chargers team's really coming together. That pass rush is solid, and Phillip Rivers has been playing really, really well. 34.2 points for him this week. Robbie Anderson, he's developed into Josh McCown's favorite target. He's been a reliable guy. 6 receptions, 146 yards, and 2 scores. Big week for him, 32.6 points. Big Ben Roethlisberger, a couple weeks ago he's saying that he doesn't know if he is in physical shape to play or if he's getting too old, but it did not look like it in this game. He threw the ball 45 times, over 350 yards, 4 scores, and only 2 picks. 30.5 points this week. Injuries, got a lot to cover here. John Brown, his status, he's saying he's going to be out this week, so make sure you guys get him on your bench for this upcoming week. Devontae Freeman, he's still going through those concussion protocols. He's questionable, but I think he's going to be out with that concussion this week. So Kelvin Benjamin listed as out, but sources are saying day-to-day he's been participating very limitedly in practice. Just keep your eye on that. Cam Newton, he's questionable with a thumb injury. As you know, quarterbacks will struggle with that thumb injury. It is on his throwing hand, so just keep your eye on that. Josh Gordon, this is an interesting one for the Browns. You know how big of a factor he was in 2013 with those 2 back-to-back 200-yard games. I'm sure the Browns are really eager to get him back into that offense, but they're going to ease him in this week. But he is due to return in week 13, so if you guys can pick him up in your league, be sure to do so. Matt Stafford, questionable with an ankle injury. If you guys are watching that Vikings-Lions game, you noticed him getting a little shaken up after one of his throws, but he did play through that injury. He's a tough guy. I think he's going to come out and play this week, but it's just something to keep in mind. Will Fuller, he's out with a rib injury, so expect him not to play this week. Amari Cooper, he's going through concussion protocols. A lot of concussion injuries lately in the NFL. They've been a little more cautious with that type of stuff, so he's not going to play this week. Jameis Winston, and he has that nagging shoulder injury, so keep your eye on him this upcoming week. My stardoms this week, I got Tariq Cohen going up against San Francisco at home. Tariq Cohen has been in and out of that offensive plan, it seems like, for the Bears every week. Was pretty much non-existent along with the rest of the offense against the Eagles. But 2 weeks ago, they tried to get Tariq Cohen more involved, and he definitely had his impact on the game. I think going up against San Francisco, who struggles against the run, they're going to get Tariq Cohen really involved, either out of the backfield or on the ground. Then we got Marshawn Lynch going up against the Giants. The Giants are struggling to defend that run, and Marshawn Lynch is a big back. I think he's going to punch it in at least one time. Same thing goes for Isaiah Crowell going up against the Chargers. The Chargers have been struggling, on the defensive end as far as rush defense goes, and Isaiah Crowell is a big back. I think he's going to have his way with that defense. Then we got Robbie Anderson going up against Kansas City. Kansas City has been falling faster and harder than any team in the NFL right now, starting off 5-0, and now they are at risk of losing that division lead to the Chargers. And Robbie Anderson has just been a really solid guy, Josh McCown's favorite target. I think he's going to have another big game. Devonta Adams going up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's passing offense has just been struggling, and Brett Hundley looked pretty sharp last week against the Steelers, so expect Devonta Adams to get a couple targets and a score in the end zone this week. Zay Jones, expect him to be a more integral part of the Buffalo Bills offense. They're going up against New England, who struggles to defend the pass. And with Kelvin Benjamin being out, I think Zay Jones is going to have a little bit bigger role. My sit-ems this week, I wouldn't start T.Y. Hilton going up against that Jacksonville defense. They've been compared to the 85 Bears, just the way they attack and blitz almost every play. Jacoby Brissett's not going to have a lot of time to get it out to T.Y., so I'd go ahead and see if you have a better option there at the receiver spot. Golden Tate, he's always a solid 2 wide receiver, but he's going up against Baltimore with a shaken up Matt Stafford and a good Baltimore pass defense and pass rush. I would go ahead and say Golden Tate. I don't think he's going to get a lot of touches. We got Tevin Coleman playing Minnesota. With the injury to Devontae Freeman with that concussion, Tevin Coleman has been playing pretty solid. But I'm going to sit him this week going up against Minnesota. Minnesota has just been an absolute suffocating defense, and I wouldn't bet against Minnesota this late in the season. Then we got Andy Dalton going up against Pittsburgh. Andy Dalton's having a pretty struggling season, and Pittsburgh has had a pretty solid defense throughout. It didn't look like that against, the struggling Packers this past week, but I don't think Andy Dalton's going to do anything special against Pittsburgh. I'd go ahead and go with your second option there. Then you got Thomas Rawls playing Philadelphia. I mean, anyone playing Philadelphia in that defense, the number one rush defense in the league, just go ahead and sit Thomas Rawls. He hasn't really been a big part of that Seahawks offense anyway. Then we got Kenyon Drake of the Dolphins going up against Denver, who, despite Denver's struggles, they've still had a pretty solid rush defense. So don't expect Kenyon Drake to do any more than he's been doing the past couple weeks. Here's your schedule for this week. As always, guys, pause the video, give it a look. A couple awesome matchups. You got that classic game of the Bills and the Patriots this week. So be sure to pause it, give it a look. And as always, I just want to thank you guys for tuning into this video. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter and our website at www.bloomingtonedge.net. Check out some of our events and ticket packages on our site. Our schedule is up. You can go check out some of the games, some of the matchups in that new league that we're in. Check out some updated stats of last season and a couple exciting things. We're going to have a couple game previews coming out for those home games, so you guys can pick out the games you want to come out to. And if you do want to get in some awesome seats this year, be sure to give us a call at the number at the bottom of the screen, which is 484-840-3343, and we'll get you in some season tickets and some awesome action this year with the Bloomington Edge. So thanks again, guys, and best of luck in this fantasy week.